Hey everybody, this is Rykard here again, and as a follow-up video to the volbeat video I did the other day, I figured I had to do an Illumise one. So I'm bringing you two different sets today to run with this Pokemon, so let's get things started by looking at its abilities, stats, and typing. So much like her brother Volbeat, Illumise sports the Mono Bug typing, which in itself is pretty great, except for the fact that you do have that weakness to Stealth Rock, which is extremely common in competitive play. As for the abilities, the first one, Oblivious, isn't too useful because you don't really see moves like Attract or abilities like Cute Charm being thrown around too much, so you're probably going to want to either go with the Tinted Lens or the Prankster ability. Tinted Lens is really great for offensive sets because of the fact that it allows you to basically bypass any resistance that the opponent will have against any of your moves. For example, using Bug Buzz on a fire type move will hit for neutral damage, or using Bug Buzz on a fire type Pokemon will hit for neutral damage. The only case where a hit will be resisted is if something's 4 times resisted, such as using Bug Buzz on a Heatran, which resists it because of its fire steel typing. However, you probably won't run into Heatran too often in NU, which is where Illumise is. But its second ability, Prankster, or second really useful competitive ability, Prankster, is really good because it gives priority to all of your non-attacking moves, and Illumise has a ton of those just like Volbeat does. Except in this video I'm not really going to show you a Prankster set because it can essentially run the exact same one that I showed for Volbeat in the previous video, and I think that that's probably the best Prankster set you could use on either of these Pokemon. The only difference is that instead of Seismic Toss being your attacking move, you'd have to go with something else because for Illumise, Seismic Toss is only a 3rd-gen tutor move, but for Volbeat, it's a breeding move for whatever reason. You would probably just go Bug Buzz for that. But anyways, onto the stats. It has 65 HP, 55 defense, and 75 special defense, which aren't the best defenses in the world, but they, as you'll see later, can be somewhat manageable because I'm going to show you a specially defensive set for Illumise that I like to use. The only difference between the Illumise and Volbeat is that their physical attack and their special attack stats are swapped. So instead of having 73 attack like Volbeat does, it has 47. So Illumise is the special attacker of the two, even though Volbeat's the one that gets Tail Glow, which I thought was really weird. But for any offensive sets regarding Illumise, you're going to be using its special attack stat, along with its 85 base speed, which is pretty good and allows you to be pretty fast in battle, even though it's not the greatest attack stat, or sorry, speed stat. But with that, let's just take a look at the first set I have for you, which will be a special attacking set making use of its awesome ability, Tinted Lens. So the first thing with this set that we're going to do is give Illumise a timid nature to increase its speed but lower its physical attack. As for the ability, as I said before, we're going to be going with Tinted Lens as a way for us to deal neutral damage on pretty much all of our attacks. As for the EVs, we'll put 4 into defense, 252 in special attack, and 252 into speed to give us our highest special attack and speed possible with the timid nature. And as for the item, we'll go with either an expert belt or a life orb, both of which are able to increase our damage considerably to allow Illumise to basically maximize the damage output it's doing against your foes. Though I would be a little bit cautious with using a life orb due to the fact that you are weak to Stealth Rock and you will be taking 25% of your health every time you switch in on Stealth Rock if it's up. But as for the moves, the first one that we're going to make use of is Fake Tears as a way of dropping your opponent's special defense stat by 2 stages. And this is really great because Illumise doesn't have the most ideal special attack in the world, but with the Tinted Lens ability in combination with a -2 special defense drop from your opponent, you're basically able to either 1-hit or 2-hit KO anything in the NU tier. And that's a bit of a stretch, like there are obviously going to be some things that you can't do that to, but it's very minimal what those opponents will be. Like I know Licky Licky is one of the most easy things to take hits from Illumise regardless of the -2 special defense drop, but most other Pokemon, if you outspeed, won't be able to deal with that kind of power coming from Illumise, which is really cool. So for the first move that we're going to be making use of, and kind of the main move of the set because of Tinted Lens, and that's going to be Bug Buzz, because we'll always get Stab on that move because it is a bug type attack, and with the Tinted Lens ability, we'll basically always be maximizing our Stab move, which is really great and kind of what you want to do in most situations. But there are a lot of other moves that we are going to potentially run with Illumise to allow us to get some more super effective type coverage, even though Bug Buzz will be our main move. The first of which being Shadow Ball, because it will be super effective against ghost types, which aren't too common in NU, but Mismagius is extremely common, Misdreavus is extremely common. So having the chance to hit it for a super effective damage, or for a super effective hit, will be really great because it's one of the most annoying to deal with type walls in the NU tier. Another option that you could go for with the third move slot, is Hidden Power Fighting, and this is kind of mandatory in some cases because of how common Probopass has become over the last few months. And Probopass has insane defenses, so having an HP fighting or Hidden Power Fighting on your at your disposal will be really great because even a max special defensive Probopass won't be able to take a Hidden Power Fighting after a Fake Tears defense drop. And obviously, if you don't get the Fake Tears up, it'll be a 2-hit KO. But that's really great and something that you can obviously exploit with Illumice's power with Fake Tears and Tinted Lens, even though HP Fighting is super effective, which is completely different. But the other type coverage that we can get with Illumise could either be in the form of Thunderbolt or Giga Drain, both of which work really well against water types, and it's really just up to you basically which one you want to go with. Thunderbolt obviously is good against flying types who might want to come in on Illumise because it is a bug type like a Swellow or something, so you could always catch that by surprise. But Giga Drain gives you more super effective type coverage overall because of how common ground and rock types can be in this tier. And that's just basically all the really good moves that you could potentially run with Illumise. So it's basically up to you in terms of the last two move slots, which moves you go with. But in general, you're going to want to be using Bug Buzz and Fake Tears the most out of all the moves in this set. After this last set, we're going to be making Illumise into a special defensive Pokemon, which is something you might not normally see, but it's a pretty simple moveset that Illumise can run pretty effectively, which is why I figured I would leave it here. But first we're going to give it a Calm Nature to increase its special defense but lower its physical attack. And then we're also going to be going with the ability Tinted Lens this time, so that even though we only have one attacking move, which is Bug Buzz on the set, it won't be resisted the majority of the time because of Tinted Lens, so you'll be able to do a considerable amount of damage with it, even though it's not a special attacking set. But as for the EVs, we're going to put 248 into HP to give us that odd HP number to mess with the Stealth Rock damage, 8 into defense, and then 252 EVs into special defense to give us our max special defense possible. And with the item, we're obviously going to go with Leftovers. For the moves, though, it's a pretty simple Toxic Stalling set, and something that Illumise is able to do way more effectively than Volbeat is, due to the fact that Illumise actually gets Wish as one of its moves. And Wish is really great because, especially on Toxic Stalling sets, you can use it to not only work in combination with Protect to recover life while you basically put up a wall of invulnerability against your opponent, while the toxic damage racks up, but you can also use Wish as a way to pass on health to your other teammates, which is something not a lot of Pokemon are able to do, and something that, even with Illumice's max defense stat, HP stat in the set being 333, can be something very helpful to Pokemon on your team that might be either weak to Stealth Rock or physical or special attackers that don't have a lot of HP or defense, or have lost it previously in the battle and you want to recover it, so that they continue to be offensive threats against your opponent's team. But the set, as simply as it is right there, Protect, Wish, Bug Buzz, and Toxic with max special defense. And it's just really good, even though it's not super creative. It's just a solid set that you can run if you ever want to use a specially defensive Bug-type Pokemon like Illumise can potentially be. But that is pretty much it, or all I have to say about these two sets that I brought for you. I hope you enjoyed the little bug feature that I did this week, and hopefully I'll be back again soon with a couple other sets for you, because I do have a bunch that I haven't shared yet that I would love to make videos on. But that is it for this video, so I hope you enjoyed this Illumise exhibition. So as always, take care and goodbye everyone.